Hey everyone, today we're going to be replacing the radiator on a 2004 Ford Escape. It's the V6 model. So just some basic things that you're going to get done first are you're going to remove these side brackets on both sides here, and then this little plastic thing here, and then underneath you're going to remove the plastic guard right here, just so that you can get to the bottom of the radiator so that you can drain it out. So we're going to get started on that first. So for these side panels, what you're going to need to do is you have to turn the wheels one way for all the way to the left when you're working on the driver's side, and then all the way to the right when you're working on the passenger side. Anyways, I'm missing one of my bolts right here, but this is a 10, and then the other bolts are in the center. And so you're going to undo both of those to get the bottom plastics out. I don't know about your Ford Escapes, but mine was missing quite a few bolts, so you may have more than me. This is my driver's side plastic undercarriage piece. There's a bolt right here, and there are two here, and it actually even had one of these stupid plastic screw ones that took a while to work on and get out. I ended up just ripping it out because that screw just spins in there and you can't get any traction on it because it's not squeezed tight enough from the other side right there. So anyways, just get these two plastic pieces off. One of the next things that you're going to do is you're going to get the hood latch release off, and that looks like it's just two 10mm bolts right here, and you should be able to just set it up out of the way. So after further inspection, looking at the hood release here, it looks like it's attached to a metal bar under here that goes through the back side. What I'm hoping to do, I just took this latch off right here. It was a star it was a star wrench. Anyways, what I'm hoping to do is the fans just have two electrical plug-ins back here and here, and I'm hoping to undo those. It looks like if I pull this plastic back, pull the radiator back, that this bar here is arched so that you can pull it out with the radiator fans on, and then I can just hopefully screw them onto the brand new radiator. So at the bottom here is the drain plug, and it's a 19mm if you can't get it by hand. You just loosen it and it drains out at the bottom. You just need to be aware of if you are, you just need to catch it because you can get in trouble just dumping it onto the street. So anyways, what you're going to do, what I'm going to do next, is I'm going to disconnect all these hoses here just with these clamps with pliers. On this side, it looks like there's just these two up top here. I'm going to disconnect these hoses here from the fan. I'm going to pull those off. And then on this side, there's some more hoses connected with clamps. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 3 at the bottom and 1 up top here. So I'm going to disconnect all those. And hopefully after disconnecting the fan wires, right there on here and the one on the other fan, I should be able to pull the whole radiator out. It took a bit, but I was finally able to get all of these hoses off. This top one here, this is actually a radiator line, and there's the large one at the bottom, you can see is off. That's a coolant line, and then just above it is another radiator line. There's a little bit of fluid that dripped out of the bottom line, but that's because I let it hang down. I actually put a bag over it, both lines, both that one and this one here, so that I don't get debris in it as I'm working. But you really shouldn't have much radiator fluid just pouring out unless you have your radiator overfilled. So the third line down there that's still connected actually goes to the overflow tank, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can just pull this whole thing out now, and then I'll just disconnect it once I have it out because I can't really get a good angle on this radiator overflow tank clamp right there that you can see. So I'm going to pull it out and see if this works. So I got the radiator out. What I didn't show actually was that the hood release actually came off very easy. There's a bar right here and a little 10mm bolt right here. If you just loosen it, that bar went right between the washer and that 10mm bolt. And what you're going to need to do is there's another 8mm bolt right here. You come out from here, and when you loosen that, this whole bar can be pushed back like that, so it's no longer connected. What I did was I released it with the fan still attached. I really shouldn't have, because all it was 2 8mm bolts here and over there, just right here. And once you release those, the whole thing slides up, because there's 2 little hooks, and then it comes right off. So I really shouldn't have done that. It doesn't matter. I can put it back in. I'll put the fan back in first, because I scratched up the whole radiator. It doesn't matter since I'm replacing it, but you won't want to do that with the new radiator. Otherwise you'll mess up your brand new radiator, and could make it go bad much sooner. So next up is we're going to be putting the radiator back in. Since I didn't necessarily show this when I was pulling it out, what I did was at the bottom of the radiator there are actually these almost prongs on both sides. There's a hole at the bottom of each one, and they have like a big old rubber gasket that go right on it, that go in the hole. And once those need to get locked into place as you're putting the radiator back in. For the fan, I put it in first. I just disconnected it with those 2 bolts, and I put it in, and all you have to do, I already hooked it on, but just make sure it's far forward, and then there's a little hook. Let's see if you can see it very well. You can kind of see it if it focuses. Right there a little bit, but anyways, it hooks in there, and then there's 1 bolt right here, that 8mm bolt on this side and the other side. So it's real easy to put it that way. It's the way I should have done it the first time. So once you have that in, I'm going to bolt that on, and basically all you're going to do is connect each of these hoses, and we'll go from there. So after finally getting everything put back together, you know, the fan, the radiator, all your hoses, make sure they're all connected correctly. I put the hood latch back on and everything, and I actually rinsed out the overflow tank here. It looked pretty grubby. So what you're going to want to do now is you need to flush out the rest of the system, and to do that you're actually going to have to start the car. So you have your thermostat right here, and that closes off the coolant that's actually inside the engine. So all of the old dirty coolant is still in the engine. And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to fill up the radiator with water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hose off, because this is directly at the top. Fill it all up, and then you're going to start the engine. And while it's running, you're going, well, what you might want to do is actually loosen, you know, the valve at the bottom there, so that you can start draining the radiator with the water that you're putting in. And so what you're going to do is, as it's draining, you're going to keep filling the radiator with water, and I'm doing it from this hose, and you're going to keep doing that until from the bottom of the radiator you start to see coolant coming out. Because since the radiator is brand new, it has no coolant in it. It's just going to have the water that you're already putting in. So when you start to see coolant, that means that the thermostat has opened up, and the water pump is flushing all of that out, and you're just putting pure water in. And then you keep running that until it looks like there's no more coolant. It looks like it's just water again, which means that you flushed out all the coolant. And then you can turn off the engine, close the valve at the bottom of the radiator. After, I would drain it all. Actually, I would turn off the engine, close the valve, let the engine cool down. Then you're going to open the valve, drain all the water out, put the necessary amount of coolant in there, which typically it's 50-50. I live in a much colder state, and so I'm going to do, on the back of the coolant that I bought, said that you can do 70-30. So I'm going to put 70% antifreeze, 30% water. So I'm going to, after the engine is cooled down, the thermostat will have closed again. I'll drain the radiator again with all the water that I just had in there. Put in 70% full with antifreeze, and then I'll top the rest off with water. And then I'll start it, let it warm up so that it all mixes again, so that you don't have just water inside of your engine. And then it'll be good to go, and just watch for leaks over the next few days. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. is quite a job, but it's doable if you have all the right tools and if you watch this video. So thanks for watching.